Hey now, say now, welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. After knocking off Clemson for their first ACC title ever, another milestone is checked off as the Cardinal make their college football playoff debut. One of two undefeated teams this season, they have earned the right as the number one overall seed. The road to a natty starts here in the Peach Bowl as the number 8 Oregon Ducks come to town, a former in-conference foe who now represents the Big Ten and what could be a high-scoring affair. Oregon entered the game 12-2 on the year, going undefeated in conference play. Their losses included to 11-3 Baylor team and to Ohio State in a rematch in the Big Ten title game. They were an at-large bid who knocked off Penn State in the first round 31-23, and that's what sets up this matchup here against Stanford. Their offense is led by quarterback Dante Moore, who threw for almost 4,000 yards this season, 35 touchdowns, and no picks. Very impressive season for the redshirt senior. They have a very balanced rushing attack with 3 players, including Moore, who ran for over 500 yards. Redshirt junior Bobby Myalga led them with 749s, while De'Aaron Hill Jr. had 633 yards. Myalga also had a very impressive 20-touchdown campaign. Receiving wise, they had 2 1,000-yard guys in Cooper Perry and Jeremiah McClellan, with the latter leading them with 14 scores. DeCorey Moore was very near 1,000 as well, as he finished with 907 yards on the campaign and 6 touchdowns. Defensively, they are led by their secondary with corner Dalen Austin and safeties Kerry Brown and Aaron Flowers, their top tacklers, at the top of their leaderboard. Aiden Breland led them in TFLs with 20, while Elijah Rushing was their best pass rusher with 8.5 sacks. Lastly, senior corner OJ Federique, what a name, led the team with 5 interceptions. So that's how Oregon's team stacks up, and the stage is set for our first playoff matchup. Stanford sets up to kick it away, and the Peach Bowl is officially started. Oregon's going to field this one deep in the end zone, and they kneel it out for the touchback. These two teams were the top offenses in the nation, both averaging over 500 yards per game, with Stanford being a little bit more balanced in terms of running the football. On offense, Oregon sets up at the 41-yard line. Dante Moore is going to take the snap from gun, and then he threads the needle to wide receiver DeCorey Moore, who picks up big yardage. Later on in the drive, they drop back the pass again. Moore is going to dump it off to wide receiver Jeremiah McClellan, and he scores another touchdown on the campaign, and Oregon gets on the board first. Stanford finds himself trailing early, which they did not do much in the regular season. On 2nd and 12 from the 18, they jump back and empty, and Pinto's going to find Cisse downfield. He jukes out a defender, and he's taken down after a nice highlight play. They get down to the goal line, and on 3rd and 2, Pinto's going to drift back before scrambling right and throwing into the end zone. It's Jalen Mbakwe who hauls it in for the touchdown. Stanford matches Oregon's touchdown with one of their own. Cardinal get the ball back out of the touchdown drive. They face a 3rd and 3 from the 42-yard line. Pinto from empty again. He's going to find Cisse across the middle. He outruns the defense, and he picks up the first down. Then, on 1st and goal from the 1, quick screen play to Q Brown. He hauls it in, and it is tackled in the end zone. Stanford scores 14 straight as they get on the board once again. Oregon quickly found themselves trailing, now facing a 4th and 2 from the 27-yard line. They decide to go for it. Hand off to De'Aaron Hill Jr., but he's stuffed in the backfield. Stanford's defense comes up big, and they force the turnover on downs. After getting the ball back, 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Pinto's going to make some changes to the play before sending McLaughlin in motion. Pinto takes the snap. He drifts back before finding McLaughlin across the field. He powers his way for a first down at the 29. Later, on 3rd and goal from the 4, Pinto's going to find McLaughlin again. He skies high for the touchdown. Stanford scores another one, 21 unanswered on the Ducks, and they take a commanding lead. Oregon was able to tack on 3 before the half, but find themselves down 21-10 to Stanford in the Peach Bowl. Stanford has been dominating in terms of time and possession and have converted 6 third downs, helping them possess the ball and keep Oregon's offense off the field, and what has been the deciding factor so far. Going into the second half, same score now. Pinto's going to hand off the cold tab. He cuts up the middle and turns on the burners. 45, 30, 20, 10. He goes all the way. Touchdown, Stanford. Cold tab with a big run out of the half, and that extends the lead 28-10. Stanford later tacks on 3 more, making it 31-10 late in the third quarter when Dudere Hill takes the handoff on the goal line, and he gets 7 back for Oregon, making it 31-17. However, Oregon found themselves down 20 with just 3 to play in the fourth quarter. Moore's going to drop back the pass. He gets enough protection before finding Joey Gee, who jukes out a defender and finds his way into the end zone for the Oregon touchdown. They cut it 37-24 with 3 minutes to play. However, with so little time left, they had no choice but try an onside kick that ends up recovered by the Stanford hands team, and that would be the end of it. Stanford wins their first college football playoff game, knocking off Oregon 37-24 in the Peach Bowl, and the number 1 seed remains undefeated and moves on to the college football playoff semifinals. Stanford's defense once again came up big, though the Oregon offense would not be undeterred. Stanford had 411 yards of total offense, while Oregon had 398, but the Cardinal put 234 yards on the ground, and that ultimately controlled the game from there, including converting 9 third down attempts and was successful on their only 4th down opportunity. They also forced 2 turnovers. While Pinto did throw 1 interception, it did not cost them in the end, as they were able to get 2 turnovers off of Oregon. Pinto finished the day 23 for 29 for only 177 yards, but 3 touchdowns and that 1 interception. He didn't do too much, and he did just enough to get them the victory. Chris Davis led the team with 16 carries, but Cold Tab had 111 yards on the ground on 12 attempts, including that big touchdown run in the second half. Davis added 88 yards while Josh Pinto added 28, and Micah Ford was a no-show as he only had 2 carries. Receiving-wise, Clashawn Brown led the team with 40 yards on 5 catches, adding a touchdown, while Pat McLaughlin and Jalen Mbakwe each had a touchdown of their own, though they did not put up much in terms of yardage. Defensively, the team was led by TJ Blanco, the corner, with 9 total tackles. Jalen Dye Sumlin and safety counterpart Isaac Smith both added 7 tackles, while Dylan Stevenson and Sam Mattingly had 6 tackles of their own. We didn't get a lot of TFLs in terms of one player having multiple, but we did have about 6 or 7 players with a TFL of their own. And then we had 4 total sacks from Rolden, Sanders, Canada, and Justin Gilbert. And we also had an interception by linebacker Dylan Stevenson. So Stanford moves on, and they find out that their semifinal opponent will be Clemson, making it a trilogy matchup against this team as they look to punch their ticket to the college football title game. So we switch our sights to the Orange Bowl here in Miami. Stanford comes in still undefeated, but will have to find a way to beat the Clemson Tigers for a 3rd time this year. Clemson, I'm sure, do not want to lose 3 times to the same team, and this one is the most important of them all, as the winner here punches their ticket to the college football title game. Christopher Vicinha has had a tough matchup so far this year against the Stanford front 7, and he will have to find a way to solve this defense to be able to will his team to victory. It's the Orange Bowl for a chance to play for the title game. Let's get it. Action starts off with Clemson ball on the 36 facing a 3rd and 5. Vicinha is going to take the snap. Quick pressure gets through, but he gets it away, and he finds Donovan Murph downfield for the touchdown. Donovan absolutely torched Stanford in the ACC title game, and he gets the ball rolling early here in this one. So for the second straight game, Stanford finds himself down 7 early. They face a 3rd and 5 from the 21. Pinto's going to take the snap before finding Jalen Mbakwe on the drag route, and he converts the yards to gain. They then face a 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Quick throw to Mbakwe again, and he hauls it in for the touchdown. And Stanford, just like the last game, comes back and matches that quick score with a score of their own. We jump ahead to the second quarter now. Score 13-7, handoff to Chris Davis. He bursts right up the middle before cutting it to the outside. 50, 40, 30, tackle from behind at the 27. Big run by Chris Davis as he goes over a $118 in just the first half. The Cardinal had the run game flowing early, but on 2nd and 4, Pinto's going to go up top, and it's the freshman connect. Pat McLaughlin hauls it in for the touchdown. Stanford extends their lead 20-7 on Clemson late in the second quarter. Now Clemson drive under 40 seconds left, facing a 3rd and 12. Vicinha drops back the pass. Pressure breaks down. He's going to tuck it and run. Tries to get to the line again, but he fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Stanford, and Adam Chauvelin returns it all the way back to the 11-yard line. Crucial mistake there by Clemson, and Stanford is set up in great field position. Stanford doesn't waste the opportunity. Direct snapped on 3rd and inches, and Josh Pinto powers his way into the end zone for the Stanford touchdown. Their lead balloons to 20 before half, and they are in complete control in this one. The Cardinal got the ball out of the break. On a 1st and 10 from the 45, Pinto's going to fake the handoff before scrambling right, keeps his eyes downfield and finds Quashawn Brown wide open for a huge gain, sets them up inside the 20, first down. That big play sets them up, and they eventually get down to the goal line. 1st and goal from the 1. Pinto's going to hand off to Chris Davis. He will not be deterred, and he falls into the end zone for the Stanford touchdown. Their lead extends to 34-7 in the 3rd quarter. Complete dominance by the red team, and the Orange Bowl does not get any closer from there. 36-17 dominance by the Stanford Cardinal, and they will head to the college football title game. Clemson did not have any answers for Stanford today, and they get beat 3 times in one season on behalf of a dominant running game from Stanford. 242 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they absolutely controlled this one from the kickoff. Clemson, unfortunately, 3rd time was not the charm for them, and their season ends in heartbreak and dominating fashion. Again, Pinto did not have to do too much. He only attempted 25 passes, completed 18 of them, and only had a $179 yards. However, the run game led the way, 138 yards from Chris Davis, while Cole Tabb added 58 of his own, and Pinto added 26 with the touchdown. Michael Ford had more carries, but again, wear and tear absolutely limited him in this game. Quashawn Brown led the team in receiving with 7 catches and 73 yards, while Mbakwe and McLaughlin, they got in on the fun with a touchdown each. On defense, 14 total tackles from Dylan Stevenson and 3 TFLs, while Brandon Nicholson also had 4 total tackles. 3 sacks by Jace Gilbert in his best game as a Stanford Cardinal, and the transfer DN finally earns his keep. And with the 2 college football playoff games out of the way, Stanford has a date with the Georgia Bulldogs for the national championship game. So please hit that like button if you enjoyed today's episode and looking forward to the championship game. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.